Why is the sky blue? It's a classic, isn't it? A question so simple a child can ask it. The entire electromagnetic spectrum, the composition of our atmosphere, and the very nature of light itself. But let's go bigger. Why is there something rather than nothing at all? Did the universe have a beginning? And if so, what was there before the beginning? What if our entire reality is just a simulation running on some cosmic supercomputer? Do you ever stop and just wonder? These aren't just idle thoughts. They are the echoes of a fundamental human drive, a cosmic itch that has compelled us to look up at the stars, inward at the atom. It's the engine of everything we call progress. Think about the last time a question truly captivated you. Maybe it was something mundane, like why you always see one shoe on the side of the highway. Where is the other shoe? What story of haste or accident does that single abandoned object tell? Or perhaps it was something more profound. What happens to consciousness after we die? Is it just a switch that flips to off? Does that energy transform into something else? These questions bubble up from a deep well within our minds. They demand attention. They refuse to be ignored. This relentless questioning is not a flaw in our thinking. It is the very signature of our species, the fingerprint of a mind built to explore. This insatiable need to know is the most powerful tool we have. It's what separates us from every other species we've ever encountered. A dog might be curious about a strange smell, but it doesn't build a mass spectrometer to analyze its chemical composition. A cat might be curious about the red dot from a laser pointer, but it doesn't formulate theories about photons and coherent light. We do. We are the universe's way of knowing itself. Every time you ask why, you are participating in a conversation that started millions of years ago, a dialogue between our ancestors and the vast, silent mystery of existence. It's a legacy written not in stone, but in question marks. So, let's start there. Let's embrace that feeling of not knowing. What if gravity isn't a force pulling you down, but the fabric of space-time pushing you down from above? What if the dark matter we search for isn't some exotic particle, but the gravitational influence of a parallel universe bleeding into our own? Do these questions make you feel small, or do they ignite a spark within you? That spark, that little flicker of I need to know more, is what we're here to talk about. It's the most human thing about you. It's the reason you can't stop wondering, and frankly, it's the reason you shouldn't ever want to. Curiosity is often described as an itch in the brain. It's a mental state of deprivation, a gap between what we know and what we want to know. Think of it like a cliffhanger at the end of your favorite TV show. Writers create an information gap, a void your brain wants to fill. You feel tension, you feel incompleteness. This isn't just a psychological trick, it's a biological imperative. The discomfort of not knowing is a powerful motivator, a built-in mechanism that pushes us to seek information and resolve uncertainty. It's the universe's way of ensuring we don't get too comfortable. Where does this itch come from? Why does a mystery feel so magnetic? Psychologists call it the information gap theory. When something contradicts expectations or reveals a hole in understanding, attention becomes laser-focused. Your mind is a puzzle with a missing piece. The empty space is more compelling than the picture. Ever overheard a snippet of conversation and needed to hear the rest? That's the information gap at work. Your brain flags the missing piece and sends alerts, urging you to find it and complete the picture. This mental itch isn't always pleasant. It can cause anxiety and restlessness. Think about waiting for medical test results or the outcome of a job interview. Not knowing is often worse than the news itself. Our brains crave closure and predictability, but the same mechanism becomes delight when stakes are low. Solving a riddle, watching a mystery movie, learning a new fact. The itch becomes pleasure. Seeking and discovery become a thrilling game. So, what is the nature of your personal itch? Grand cosmic questions? Intricate human behavior? Why societies rise and fall. Why a flock of birds moves in perfect unison. The mechanism is the same. Awareness of ignorance has dawned. The gap revealed. Your brain, the ultimate exploration machine, demands a quest. It's a call to adventure you were born to answer. Let's peek under the hood. What is actually happening inside your skull when a question grabs hold of you? Using tools like functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, neuroscientists can watch your brain light up when its curiosity is piqued, and what they've found is fascinating. When you're presented with a compelling question, say, what would happen if the Earth suddenly stopped spinning? It's not just one part of your brain that activates. It's a whole network. Regions associated with anticipation, memory, reward, all spring into action, preparing your mind for a potential influx of new, valuable information. It's like your brain is getting ready for a party. The prefrontal cortex becomes highly engaged. It's the mission control center for your quest for knowledge. Other, deeper, ancient parts also join the fray. The hippocampus, crucial for forming new memories, goes on high alert. Because new information might be important for survival. A curious mind is a learning mind, better equipped to navigate the world. Your brain physically prepares itself to absorb and retain the answer. Think of your brain as a state-of-the-art information-seeking device. When curiosity is triggered, it primes itself for learning. It's like opening up a new file folder on your computer and getting ready to save a document. Studies show high curiosity improves learning the info we were curious about and also unrelated information presented at the same time. It puts your brain into sponge mode. The act of wondering makes you a more efficient learning machine. Curiosity makes your entire mind more receptive. So the next time you fall down a rabbit hole of online articles at 2 a.m., starting with how do microwaves work, and ending with the history of the Byzantine Empire, don't feel guilty. You're not procrastinating. You're engaging in a fundamental neurological process. Your brain identified an information gap and activated learning and memory protocols. You are flexing a mental muscle, fine-tuned over millions of years. The question is, what happens when that muscle gets what it wants? What is the neurological payoff for all this wondering? The reward for scratching that mental itch has a name: dopamine. This is the famous neurotransmitter often associated with pleasure and reward. When you eat a delicious piece of chocolate, win a game, or receive a compliment, your brain releases a little hit of dopamine, making you feel good and encouraging you to repeat that behavior. Learning is one of the most reliable ways to trigger this system. The aha moment, that instant when a concept clicks or a mystery is solved, accompanied by a satisfying flood of dopamine. Your brain is rewarding you for being curious. The entire process of exploration is rewarding. Anticipation of a discovery can be as potent or more than the discovery itself. Think about a scientist on the verge of a breakthrough, or an archaeologist carefully brushing dirt from a newfound fossil. The suspense of being close to new truth is intoxicating. This dopamine pathway ensures that we don't just sit around and wait for answers to fall into our laps. It makes the search itself feel good, motivating us to actively explore, experiment, and engage with the unknown. It's nature's way of making explorers out of all of us. Consider a thought experiment. Imagine two worlds. In World A, every question you have is instantly answered. In World B, you're given the tools: a telescope, a spectrometer, books, and the time to figure it out for yourself. Which world do you think would be more satisfying? While World A is efficient, it lacks the journey, struggle, and the hard-won dopamine rush of personal discovery. The reward isn't just in the knowledge, it's in the acquisition of that knowledge. This dopamine-fueled loop is one of the most brilliant designs of evolution. It creates a self-perpetuating cycle of wonder and reward. You ask a question, triggering anticipation. You seek the answer, the rewarding hunt. You find the answer, the dopamine, aha. And what does that new piece of information almost always do? It opens up a dozen new questions. Learning about the blue sky leads to questions about Rayleigh scattering, which leads to questions about quantum mechanics. The reward for curiosity is, quite often, more curiosity. It's a cycle that propels us ever forward, from one frontier of knowledge to the next. So, why is our brain wired this way? Why did evolution favor a species that just can't stop asking, what if? Curiosity is a survival strategy. It's an evolutionary superpower. The environment changes, food sources move, new predators appear. The hominids who survived were the curious ones. Exploring, testing new foods, observing migrating herds. Curiosity built a buffer against uncertainty. It pushed us across the planet, toward new resources, safer territory, a better life. Evolution favored planning memory, and abstract thought, and we became neurologically adapted to learn anywhere. Curiosity is the master key. Think of curiosity as your library card for the universe. Without it, shelves are just paper. With it, every page is a new world. Wonders wait for the right question. Your curiosity unlocks them. Asking and experimenting writes new books for future generations. Don't take the mundane for granted. Peel back the layers. See the extraordinary machinery beneath the surface. We start as master explorers. As we grow, we often trade the telescope of wonder for the blinders of certainty. The greatest breakthroughs come from those brave enough to question the answers. Quick hits can soothe the itch but starve the deeper machinery of thought. Treat every fact as provisional. Seek disconfirming evidence. Keep the journey going. Feed your curiosity. Engage, argue, and follow the trails your questions open. Staying curious is an act of rebellion, a declaration that you are a work in progress. So, never stop wondering. Look up, look within, and ask the biggest, boldest questions you can imagine. The universe is waiting to be discovered, and it has given you the perfect tool for the job. Your own magnificent, insatiable curiosity.